Good morning. Our opening words were written decades ago by the late Reverend Dr. John Wolfe, who serves as a minister to All Souls UU Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma, for 35 years. And by the way, I'm Kathleen Coate, and I serve the fellowship on the Board of Trustees. There is only one reason for joining a UU church. This is to support it. You want to support it because it stands against superstition and fear, because it points to what's noblest and best in human life, because it is open to people of whatever race, creed, color, or national origin. And we might add sexual orientation and gender identity and expression. That was not there 35 years ago. You want to support a UU church because it has a free pulpit, because you can hear ideas expressed there which would cost any other minister his or her job. You want to support it because it is a place where children can come without being saddled with guilt or terrified of some celestial peeping Tom, where they can learn that religion is for joy, comfort, for gratitude, and love. You want to support it because it is a place where walls between people are torn down rather than built up. Because it is a place for the religious displaced persons of our time, the refugees from mixed marriages, the unwanted free thinkers, and those who insist against orthodoxy that they must work out their own beliefs. You want to support a Unitarian Universalist church because it is more concerned with human beings than with dogmas, because it searches for the holy rather than dwells upon the depraved, because it calls no one a sinner, yet knows how deep is the struggle and how great is the hunger for what is good. You want to support a Unitarian Universalist church because it can laugh, because it insults neither your intelligence nor your conscience, and because it calls you to worship what is truly worth your sacrifice.
Yes, she does. Good morning, and welcome to Minnesota Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Carla Ries, and I serve the fellowship as Secretary of the Board of Trustees, and I teach our Whole Lives youth programming. I am joined leading the service this morning by fellow trustee and chair-elect Kathleen Coate, Finance Committee Chair Steve Danko, trustee stewardship, pretty much member of every committee, Kelly Hughes, uh, fellow worship associate and all-around awesome guy, Tom Ellinger, our administration and communications director, superstar Jeannie Picos. Our accompanist is Lark Lewis, and we are led in song by Nicole Collins, our choir director. And of course, we have our fabulous tech crew back there. Today it's Richard Duffin, obviously, and then Holly. Holly Bruce. So thank you all for everything you do to help keep us going. Yes. If you are here with us for the first time, we invite you to fill out a visitor form in the lobby or in the comments section online. Whether you are beginning your journey with us or have been with us for many years, we are glad to be with you today. We are grateful for this opportunity to be together in community, which is a time of joy, comfort, and sometimes challenges. This Unitarian Universalist congregation is a place where we come to learn about being human. We're not here because we've figured out life's questions or because we think we've got it right. We come here to learn more about being in relationship with one another, how to listen, how to forgive, how to be vulnerable, how to create trust and compassion in one another. As part of that learning, we acknowledge that these places that we call home are also the ancestral and contemporary and spiritual homelands of the Dakota people. Blessed be this place and all who make their home here. Just a few announcements before we continue. Music Sunday and our annual auction are just 2 weeks away, folks. Please contact Nicole if you have music to share. Nicole waved at it. Yay! And a member of the auction committee with any donations, and Jean Danko has a few words to say about that.
Hi, I'm Jean Danko, and today you're going to be hearing a lot about raising money for the church. I have the fun part of all of that, to raise money for the church. The biggest fundraiser that we have is only 2 weeks away. The proceeds from this directly fund our budget for the year. So it's quite important that everyone participates as much as they can. If you haven't given us your donation yet, please do so today or yesterday if possible. If you have a donation to bring, you can bring it now and put it on the counter in the office. I've got a little marked area there. Excuse me. To bid on, this is a silent auction, totally. We'll have about 70 to 80 items, it looks like we're getting. You have to pay to get a bid number, to bid on any of the things. We do this so that it helps defray the cost of the software, which is new this year, so bear with us. The price per bid number is $10, so if it's a husband, wife, or family, you'd probably be bidding under one bid number. The tickets will be going on sale for it starting after the service, next week before and after, and then just before the service on the 19th. We'll also be selling raffle tickets. Our raffle prize is, we're splitting the pot. Any money we take in from the raffle, we get half and you get half. We'll also be selling beads. Beads are a way to denote that you're going to play the game that we have during the service. We've done this before. It's heads or tails. Everybody likes it. It's fun. On auction day, after our wonderful Music Sunday, we'll have potluck of appetizers. So bring your favorite appetizer, fill up your plate after the service, and then wander around to all of the tables where the bid sheets will be out. We have plenty of different things. We have dinners to hot sauce. tickets to theater events, museums, Saints baseball game, handyman work, tutoring. There's gift baskets, gift certificates. We'll have plenty of items, I think. If you want to support us, but don't want to participate directly in the auction, we of course will accept money, cash. We'll have a means for doing that at the auction, or you can simply go to the website like you would do any other donation. In the drop-down menu, there is a line item for the auction. The auction will close after everyone finishes bidding. And then we go home and tally, the auction committee tallies all of the winnings. We'll let you know a little bit later in the week what you've won, when you can pick it up, which will probably be the following Sunday during church, and how you can pay for it. And if you cannot come, but you want to bid on some items, just email us and you can do an absentee bid. So we hope you'll join us for this fun event. Thank you.
It is always a very fun event. Next Friday is March's Community Night. The Social Action Committee is sponsoring the event, which will feature free pizza and a protest sign-making station. Very UU. All are welcome to join us for an easy dinner and a chance to make new friends. Also, parents of youth in the OWL program will have a chance to get together and chat for a bit while their kids are, being taken care of by someone else. Next Saturday is daylight savings time, folks. That means you'll lose an hour, but you don't want to miss out on next week's service, which features Herdy Baisdell as our guest speaker. Aside from being well-versed in community psychology, Herdy also is a co-owner of Maiden Rock Winery and Cider, and there will be a tasting of their products following the service. So, fun. There is a lot always happening at MVUUF, so please read the Unison or your Friday weekly emails to keep on top of everything that's happening. And we will now sing our opening hymn. Come sing a song with me, number 346. Our words for chalice lighting today are from Katie Gelfand. And if you will join me in those, please. We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude. Thank you. This is the time when any children present will go downstairs for fellowship and activities with Sue and Linda, and Nicole will help us sing them out.
Where you go, I will go, my children. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, children. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine.
Thank you. Every week, we set aside some time for your joys and sorrows, to share our joys and sorrows. If you are with us in person and have something you'd like to share, please raise your hand and an usher will bring a microphone to you. If you are online, drop a comment in the chat and it will be shared.
Now, brothers and sisters, y'all know when I stand up in front of y'all, y'all know you got some action coming up this week. And we got some action. Not as bad as the southern states had it with the tornadoes and the hailstorms, but we do have some action coming. And the weather guys don't know whether this is going to start off as rain, whether it's going to start off as snow, or it's going to start off as a mix. Nevertheless, we're up under weather advisories. Again, as those cleats I mentioned to you guys last week, have them ready. It's beautiful out there now, and it may get up to somewhere around 35 to 40 degrees. But of course, when the precipitation starts falling, it cools the air mass down. So more than likely, we're going to get that white stuff again. And the white stuff's supposed to accumulate to maybe 2 to 4 inches, 3 to 5 inches in some spots. Some spots might even get up to 6 inches. The reason I say that is because there is a slight possibility of thunder snow. And that could be anywhere from the metro area on southeast to a Rochester area. So be aware of that. And the snow more likely will start in the evening hours, continue on and off through the night, and slow down maybe early tomorrow morning. Then, after that system passes through, we got another long duration system that might come through. Start off light snow showers, light snow showers, light snow showers. By Thursday night, a heavier snow, light snow showers by Friday. And well, it's upper Midwest. These storms will pass through the Dakotas in order to get to us. So not just the state of Minnesota, y'all. It's the entire upper Midwest. So be aware, silver lining. Get to 80 to 100 inches of snow. You know what that's going to cut down on? Drop. It's going to allow you young people to plant your flowers in good faith.
My name is Holly Bruce, and I serve this congregation on the board. Now, those of you who know me know that speaking my mind is something I pretty much do. And so I'd like to talk just a minute about what Steve Danko is going to talk about today, which is money. I know many of you understand how important the Stewardship Sunday is in your pledges to the ongoing life of this congregation. I don't know if you know that we're a little bit lax in what we pay our staff, a little bit behind what the UUA suggests, that our staff has made sacrifices over the years of of benefits that ordinarily they would expect from a congregation, even though we're a small congregation. And I don't know if you know this, but those of you who have OWL participants, the people who lead our OWL program have all paid for their training themselves. They flew to Texas, they paid their own way, they paid for their own materials, and all of you know how important that is to us and our organization. So I just wanted to say, as you think about what you're going to pledge this year, think about the music, think about the googly eyes and the great dead cat joke we heard, and think about all of the contributions that our staff makes to our, and I'm just going to say one more thing, which is this has been a tough year for my husband and me. And I said to you once at a time that was really hard for our family, that without community, tragedy is unbearable and joy is unshared.
I'm Barb Gilliand. Earlier this week on Minnesota Public Radio, I heard something that sounded something that UUs would be interested in. It's called Stories Behind the Menu, and two women started this up because they were very concerned about all the huge divisions in our society. And they thought, maybe one thing we could do to help bridge those divides would be through food. So they started this thing, I think, 5 times a year. They are bringing 75 people together at a location near 394 in Penn called, I'm forgetting, well, something. They own this facility. And they're inviting chefs to come cook 4- and 5-course meals of various ethnic cuisines. And you agree, if you decide to go, that you won't sit next to the person that you came with, that you'll purposely sit next to strangers. And there are talking cards on the table to prompt good discussions and try to help overcome differences. So if you're interested, look up Stories Behind the Menu online. I'm going on September 28th for a Thai dinner, and I'd love to see more of you there. Thanks.
I'm Betty Miller. I have 2 sorrows and a joy. The first sorrow is my daughter lives in Alabama and went through the great big high winds this week, and she lost one of the big trees in her yard, which she and I are both very sorry for because we both love trees. The other sorrow is that Richard was working with a box cutter knife and sliced his thumb. And so he had to go to the urgent care and get it repaired. But the joy is, on the way out, we saw 2 big googly eyes on one of the doors there at the urgent care.
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm Laura Thompson. I'm the minister here. And so I had knee surgery this week, and it went well. They were able to repair my meniscus the way that they had hoped to, so that's fantastic. But it also means that I have 6 weeks of non-weight-bearing recovery, which is challenging. But as Holly mentioned, you do things in community, so I just want to thank everybody who's supporting us by bringing us meals or just sending nice notes. And I especially want to thank Emily because she's doing double, triple, quadruple duty at the house with things. Although I made coffee this morning, and I made overnight oats last night, so I am able to do some things. I'm doing some things. Yeah, I just can't do a lot. I also wanted to lift up Emily since she's here, because she's sold like $600 plus worth of artwork from the Telfers that we had gotten from Jack and Pat Telfer's estate. She's done that this year. She and Karen Olson so when we have auctions or rummage sales or donations to the church, they are the two people that kind of sell those things on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. So I just wanted to lift both of them up because they do a great job. Yeah, and I know Emily's on her phone and, grabbing my key to the church to come over to sell this artwork and telling me all the stories about the people that fell in love with the painting by seeing it and wanted it. And it's really wonderful. And then the sorrow that I wanted to lift up today is, and this is another question for stewardship and operations and whatnot, and how we make things possible. Though our building is accessible for people who are handicapped, in case you have noticed, our stage is not. And so that really sends a message as to what parts of the building you're welcome to people that might be in a wheelchair like I am right now. Like, I'm not in the pulpit until the 26th, and I'm not sure what we'll do to get me up there and how that will look then. But I just want to make you aware, certainly I'm very aware of it right now, that we don't have that accessibility, and it would take some work to get it done correctly. But it's definitely something to think about, especially when we're thinking about stewardship and living out our values. So anyway, that's me. Thank you.
Tom Ellinger. I have a joy and a sorrow at the same time. Many of you know that Annie and my son Peter has been living with us this year while he was doing his internship, his residency at the VA in psychology. He just got placed for a postdoc in Milwaukee. So we've had him here, he's now leaving for next year. But I want to point out that he started here when he was just a peanut, and he's now a 6'4" peanut. And all parents never raise their kids on their own. And I just want to thank this fellowship. When I look at both of my kids, I realize that much of who they are is from this place. And that is profoundly important for them. So thank you to everybody.
Did we have any comments online? Don't mean to make you run, Holly, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Myra, our esteemed chair of the esteemed Board of Trustees. My sorrow this week is that my vacation to Yosemite was canceled due to the fact that the resort had 4 feet of snow, no power, and no heat. But that's important. But this cancellation has a positive, as it made me available to travel to attend the funeral of a dear friend's mother and support her in this difficult time.
Thank you for everyone who has shared. We will hold those joys and sorrows as well as those left unspoken in our hearts. Please join us in the musical response.
Hello, Minnesota Valley. You know, staff did the, what did we do? What were the tests? We did the Enneagram, and I discovered I was an enthusiast. So now I have an excuse. So I'm Jeannie Picos. For those of you who don't know, I'm your administrator. your communications director, and your poet in residence. I also lead the Writing as Spiritual Exploration, which is on Zoom this Thursday. I invite you all and any. Tom Ellinger just said a really nice thing about it, so if you are interested, talk to him, and then I don't have to be a self-promoter. I'm so glad to be with you on Stewardship Sunday. I know it's not always easy to ask for money. We all know it's essential in order for Minnesota Valley to survive, most essential for Minnesota Valley to grow and thrive. I thought, was it a little unusual to use poetry to make a financial appeal? I think Kathleen illustrated well that UUs are unusual, so it seems really fitting, maybe even exceptional, because we are exceptional. So as a poet, I feel that poetry speaks in ways that maybe graphs and data don't. Those are important, but poetry speaks from the heart, and giving is from the heart. So I hope that this poem by Alberto Ries will speak to you about why we give and how giving is truly an act of love. When Giving is All We Have by Alberto Ries. One river gives its journey to the next. We give because someone gave to us. We give because nobody gave to us. We give because giving has changed us. We give because giving could have changed us. We have been better for it. We have been wounded by it. Giving has many faces. It is loud and quiet. Big, though small, diamond in wood nails. Its story is old, the plot worn, and the pages too. But we read this book anyway, over and again. That bears repeating. We read this book anyway, over and again. Giving is first and every time hand to hand, mine to yours, yours to mine. You give me blue and I give you yellow. Together we are simple green. You gave me what you did not have, and I gave you what I had to give. Together, we made something greater for the difference. Thank you.
I love it when that music goes on in the background with the words and everything. Ooh. Yes, indeed. I just want to talk about generosity a little bit. We're at the offering part of the service here. Generosity, I think, should be one of the principles of UUism. Communities thrive when their members practice generosity. Generosity connects us with others, makes us more open, more vulnerable, and caring. This fellowship is generous. We are generous with our time, with our commitment, with our sympathy, with our understanding, with our openness, and with our money. All of those are generosity, and that's a big part of loving. One way we practice generosity here is with our wealth, our financial wealth. Last month, we raised $434 for our Sunday sharing partner, Out Front Minnesota. And if you don't know about Out Front Minnesota, find out about them. They do amazing work, and they're really crucial. They're really needed now, what's going on in the world. This month, we turn our generosity a little more inward, not only focusing on our fellowship through the stewardship campaign, but also in caring for our members in one of the best ways possible, making possible a little R&R. It's part of that breathe and push and breathe and push that Reverend Lord talks about. Camp Unistar is a beautiful Unitarian Universalist summer camp located on Star Island in the middle of Cass Lake up by Bemidji. The camp occupies an entire island and is breathtaking. It's a small private island where you can watch the sunrise over the lake from one side of the camp, and in the evening go to the other side of the camp and watch it set. Or if you prefer, you can hop in one of the kayaks or the canoes and paddle out and watch the sunset go right into the lake. Every summer, there are 2 weeks set aside just for youth. The rest of the time is open to all ages. You can go with your kids or your friends. You can go as a couple or trio, or all by yourself. There are plenty of friends to make while you're there and plenty of time for solitude as well. So if listening to loons echo across the lake as the water laps on the shoreline is your cup of tea, go. This month, Sunday sharing proceeds will go to the Camp Unistar Scholarship Fund, which is set up to ensure that all families and youth have access to the funds that will help them get to the camp. I know many of you have been to Camp Unistar, and if you have, raise your hand, or if you're able, stand, just to see how many people have been to Camp Unistar. All right, there's a bunch of, yeah. If any of the rest of you have questions, talk to those people. They can give you the true skinny on it. Now, will the ushers please come forward and take the offering? You can also donate by using that strange chessboard there. The QC code, I think is. Or you can go online, so there's no excuse for not having cash in your wallet.
Hi, I'm Steve Danko, for the three of you that don't know. I have been talking at Kickoff Sundays for 35 years, I think. And this still has to rank as one of the most important. COVID, as a fellowship, COVID devastated us. We had at least 15 members that passed away during that period of time. and we lost 30% of our membership. It was the largest shock we have ever seen as a church and community, and it lasted for 3 years. It has been a hard time, but we are recovering and getting glimpses of the UU promised land. We are again healthy. We are again growing as a community. Thank you, old and new members. There is more we want, more new members with ideas, principles and commitment, more young families. We love kids and love passing down our UU values. More active programs. As an example, I think of our social action program, of our involvement in the marriage equality vote back a number of years ago, our protesting the Mideast wars, our pro-choice activism, and our working for equal rights and opportunities. How Minnesota Valley would have involvement in many different areas over time. I want this again, and it is on its way. While I'm comfortable with the trip, we need commitment and pledging to go forward. As many of you know, over many years, the fellowship had saved money for any emergency that could arise. Sadly, COVID was the unanticipated emergency. Because of our earlier savings, we were able to endure COVID, keeping our building in good shape and our staff intact and paid. The COVID shocks were hard on us, however. While with some aid, we were able to weather the first years of COVID. Well, we had a dip into savings for over $30,000 last year, and we expect another $15,000 this year to come from our reserves. We need generous pledging to get past this, and whatever you can do would be very greatly appreciated to get past this and back to normal. As we get more pledging, we'll be yes, you know I do this, so. As we get more pledging, we will be able to provide more support to fellowship programs, supporting and growing our members and families as we again, hopefully, achieve Unitarian Universalist promised land. Thank you. Please be generous in your pledges and contributions and assist us to go forward. Thank you.
Good morning. Carla made a binder of the program today, so I don't have to read off my phone. It's a good thing. My name is Kelly Hughes, and it is true I have served on just about every committee in this congregation. I've learned a lot about people in doing that and about myself, and I've learned I love this congregation. Right now, I'm a member of the Board of Trustees, and I lead the stewardship team, which is a core group, tiny group of Glenn Corliss. I am blanking on the names. Glenn Corliss, Jean Simpson, myself, and Steve Danko, who is finance chair. We're all stewards, though, really, of our planet and of this organization. If you do have any questions about how to become more involved in our little core group, please ask. I want to also thank Laura for putting together this beautiful program. She did that despite knee surgery, and Jeannie Picos for designing our logo this year, our theme. And that theme is One River Gives Its Journey to the Next. Minnesota Valley, our namesake, refers to the geographical region we live in. It is the land that surrounds the Minnesota River. The river rises from Big Stone Lake on the Minnesota-South Dakota border. And if you've seen it on a map, it kind of twists and winds and loops and heads southeast to Mankato before twisting and winding north again through our area before it finally gives all to the Mississippi River, the holder of many rivers. Before it becomes a tributary, before the Minnesota River becomes a tributary, it is fed by 14,751 square miles of watershed from Minnesota, South Dakota, and Iowa. Minnesota Valley UU's fellowship journey also flows like a river. We gain our strength from the tributaries that are our members and friends. And we become a tributary as a community when we converge with the mighty calls of justice, love, and peace. Together, we can change landscapes and nourish the land for generations to come. Join us on this journey. Thank you.
Hello again. Time, talent, and treasure. I clearly remember the first time I heard that phrase. Brian and I, my husband, had just joined our first UU congregation, the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside in California. Yes, you heard that right. I was attending our first stewardship drive. It was explained to us that each congregation funds itself. No help from the Unitarian Universalist Association or anyone else. We are fully dependent on our members, our friends, to keep the doors open, keep the lights on, and everything else. Brian and I were recently married. I was unemployed, and we were hoping to start a family soon. We were really in no position to give what seemed like a fair pledge at the time. However, those words gave me a lot of comfort. Time, talent, and treasure. What a concept. It meant that we could help out in other ways as well. Because any of these three can and do make a difference. For those of you who have known me for like a hot minute, this next statement may seem surprising, but there was a time in my life when I was not a volunteer for anything. Mind you, I had always wanted to volunteer. I had grown up watching my mother and father do their own version of supporting organizations and causes that they believed in. But I had never really taken the time to look into what might work for me. UUCR gave me that opportunity for the first time ever. I was able to become involved in a mission that I believed in, and in ways that best suited me, suited us. And to be honest, we were both raised Catholic, so there may have been a little bit of guilt involved in getting us to do stuff, but you know, it worked out. We're good, we're good. Being new to a UU congregation can be intimidating. There's always so much going on. Everyone seems to know everybody else. Breaking in may seem daunting, and we're not always really good with the niceties because honestly, we are so busy trying to figure out the next cause to support, the next event to plan, the next meeting to attend, but we mean well. We really, really do. So, you know, there's that. The important thing to remember, whether you've been here for 50 years or 50 minutes, is that there's always room for more. Obviously, we could always use more treasure, as we have spent the better part of the last, 50 minutes telling you about. But there's definitely always more use for your time and talent as well. More musicians, more lovely voices for the choir, more fun donations for the auction, more folks willing to help with children and youth programming, more people willing to attend demonstrations and protests to use those signs that we're going to be making next Friday, more congregants able to help a fellow member or our minister by bringing them food or taking them to a doctor's appointment, more fresh and new ideas for programming. And the best part is that the level of commitment depends entirely on what you can and want to give. An hour here or there a couple of times a year, wonderful. You want to lead a committee? Awesome. Not to go too Shakira on you, but whenever, however, whatever. Your gifts are welcomed and shares, and congratulations to all of you who got that reference. Time, talent, and treasure. Over the last nearly 16 years and at 3 different congregations, Brian and I have had the privilege to serve in a number of ways. Party planning and hosting, Committee on Shared Ministry, Program Council, Board of Trustees, Membership Committee, newsletter editing. Jeannie, don't get any ideas. Service auctions, stewardship, small group ministries, beloved conversations, worship associate, donating to VEEP, service Sundays, children's religious education, our whole lives, OWL. While it sounds like an impressive list, it's actually really not. If you ask pretty much anyone sitting around you, you will hear all the wonderful ways that they have also served. And we have done it all through big and small changes in our lives. With growing families, while working, in addition to other volunteering commitments, through a pandemic. You know, life. Most times, especially when our kiddos were younger, Brian and I would just show up to a UU event and just for a couple of hours and do as we were told. That's all we could do. But we had a great time. We were living our values, supporting our congregation, and getting to hang out with some pretty amazing people. Even during less than ideal circumstances, we have found meaningful ways to keep the mission going. Even as we found refuge in our fellow UUs. Because just as we gladly shared our time, talent, and treasure with you, you shared yours with us. It is as much the work as the fellowship, with a little f. And we are grateful. What we do here together extends to the community and, dare I say, the world. Unitarian Universalists are a visionary folk, as well as a people of action. At Minnesota Valley, we seek not just to keep our fellowship going and thriving. We also want to live our values and promote our principles beyond these walls. And we can definitely accomplish all of that when we share our time, our talent, and our treasure. And now, I would like to take just a few short minutes to open up the mics. So ushers, if you could go grab the mics, please. If you have something you'd like to say, let us know why or how you share your time, talent, and treasure. And we have someone up here. Run, Holly, run. She's getting her
UU
steps today.
exercise program.
Hi, I'm Eve Bergman, and I'm also a member of your board. I'm very, very grateful for Zoom, and that's why I'm up here, because I'm waving to my husband, who can't attend in person. So we've really, really appreciated to be able to do that. And when I'm not here teaching OWL, then I'm at home watching on Zoom with him, and it's been great. But I value this fellowship so much for the opportunities it's made available to me to be part of community, from starting as a worship associate to doing beloved conversations, continuing with racial justice, attending Soul Matters, and facilitating Soul Matters, and now ultimately teaching OWL. So it has been a very nice opportunity. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Barb Gilliand. I've been a member of this fellowship since 1988. And of course, the reasons that I continue to give and continue to be a member are far too numerous to list today. But A few that I think of immediately are when my husband was alive, in the early years of our marriage, I was so grateful that we had this community. And I honestly think it helped us stay married. You know, we were older when we got married, and we were pretty set in our ways, and it was so helpful to have examples of longtime unions and other people we could share difficulties with besides our spouse and fun with. It's helped me grow as a person, live my values, be more involved with young people as a person who never had children of her own. It's gotten me through the death of my spouse after a long illness, a couple of serious bouts with mental health challenges. I have said to many of you, I don't know how people who don't have a community like ours make it. I'm so grateful. That's it.
I also wanted to mention that a small group of people got together to talk about our future. We called it Vision 2025. And we've sent out a couple of reports on Vision 2025. After church today, we will be having a little meeting. If you'd like to give us some feedback, we'd appreciate that.
Hi, it's me, Laura, again. First of all, I work here. I mean, the only full-time employee at the fellowship, but Emily and I are also members. And I think sometimes that surprises people. Ministers sometimes are members at their fellowships, and sometimes they're not. For me, I don't feel like I'm excused from giving to a community that I believe in because I work there. This is the only UU community that I have access to as a member because I'm here every Sunday, so it's not like I could join another church. And I really believe in what happens here. Also, Carla, you talked about when you were younger, you and Brian joining and unable to give financially that much. And I've been in that boat for many years in my life. When I formerly worked in food service, I wasn't able to give to anything. In fact, maybe I was more on the receiving side at that point in my life. But that's not where I'm at right now. And I feel privileged and honored to be able to give at a fair rate. And I feel really good about that. And I just believe in everything that we're doing. And I'm so glad that I get to work with all of you and help figure out what direction that's going in. So I just want to say that, yeah, I got a lot of time and talent that I get paid to bring here. But the giving piece needs to be part of it too. Otherwise, I wouldn't feel as though I was fully invested in this community. And I want to be fully invested, so that's why I give.
Tom Ellinger again. I just briefly want to say another thing that this fellowship provides is a place to be vulnerable. And that is an essential part of belonging here and sharing our vulnerability, whether it's through, I've used pastoral care here many times, and that's helped me out big time. So that is a big part of why I remain here after years, I can't even remember now. But that's like Barb said, that's helped me survive.
Thank you all. We are grateful for your time and talent. We look forward to finding out how much of your treasure you can share with us. Thank you so much. We have some closing words and then some more lovely music. But thank you for being with us today, and thank you for sharing your thoughts and for being here. Oh, yes, we should do that. Sorry, we forgot that part. Can we do that real quick? Sorry.
When our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living brings a song bold, brave, and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built for our. We all know these next words. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger finds our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Please join me quickly in the lights for extinguishing this chalice before we have our closing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Our closing words come from a poem, Together, by Reverend Peter Rabel. We build on foundations we did not lay. We warm ourselves by fires we did not light. We sit in the shade of trees we did not plant. We drink from wells we did not dig. We profit from persons we did not know. This is as it should be. Together we are more than any one person could be. Together we can build across the generations. Together we can renew our hope and faith in the life that is yet to unfold. Together we can heed the call to a ministry of care and justice. We are ever bound in community. May it always be so. Amen and blessed be. Have a good week.